Hello, Forrester here, and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be taking my first look at the Star Citizen capital ship, the Aegis Javelin class destroyer. I've been particularly excited for this ship for many years now, especially because I plan on running some weekly content on the Javelin with my org, the United Space Confederation. For those of you who come to watch my reviews, thank you, but as a heads up, this will be more of a video sharing my thoughts and observations whilst the Javelin is obviously not currently flyable. I've included some in-game footage of the Javelin, so I do hope you'll stick around, but I understand if you're not here for that, so I've included a link to my reviews playlist in the video too. Anyhow, the Javelin destroyer is the largest warship in Star Citizen that can be player owned. It's difficult to judge the scale until getting up close, and then it's very obvious just how big this ship is. It's particularly obvious where the footage currently shows the size of the hangar door, which will fit many a large fighter or dropship, such as the Reclaimer. Floating towards the rear of the Javelin offers a glimpse of the large anti-capital turret on the top, in this Navy version armed with 4 obscenely large cannons. I really like the idea that the cannons are on rails, so they pull back when not in use. It's interesting that the standard practice here seems to be to keep the turret in forward-facing mode, though I suspect that's likely because the rails aren't coded. There's a second turret underneath the Javelin as well. The engines on the Javelin are truly gargantuan, the size of some of the larger ships in-game. Later in this video, when the Javelin starts to move, you'll see it have a pretty cool reverse thrust effect, and although it doesn't look super quick, the Javelin seems to manoeuvre okay. Coming along to the right hand side, you can also see some of the additional thrusters that will be used for manoeuvring. Again, very large thrusters. Slowly EVAing forward shows the scale of this ship. I like all of the small details, such as the mini lights that adorn the hull, that add to the sense of scale. Atop the starboard side of the destroyer and overlooking the hull is the bridge, which looks to have excellent visibility all around. It's also easy to spot the many turrets for dealing with smaller to medium-sized threats, with 3 broadside turrets on each side and 2 at the front. There are a further 3 underneath, which we'll come to later. That's a lot of firepower, and actually what really excites me about the Javelin. Having all of those turrets firing at smaller targets, I'd imagine will look incredible, and actually could be pretty fun for everyone aboard. Looking back from the front to the rear, the Javelin has the look and feel of a warship. The final armament is located here, 2 massive torpedo tubes, I expect for anti-capital gameplay. Also makes for a pretty neat reason to have the shape of the Javelin as it is, which feels very military. It also offers an interesting dead space with a forward-facing window in a fairly safe part of the ship. Finally, underneath the Javelin are the aforementioned 3 anti-fighter type turrets, centrally mounted. It's definitely less well armed than topside, but should still pack a punch. The second anti-capital turret at the rear is also visible. Moving forward, there's a door which is marked as a cargo lift. I'll be interested to see whether this is for landing or perhaps for the bundled Argo MPUV mini cargo ship. So, I love the Javelin. It has a wonderfully tanky feel to it. It looks like it's set up to take a beating where needs be. I think the focus on more weaponry than the fighter complement also appeals to me. I've been waiting for years to get hands-on with the Javelin, so actually seeing the model in game is an exciting moment. That said, it's a little disappointing that we still can't do an internal tour, likely because some things are still in development and or not wanting to spoil things for Squadron 42 release. The number of turrets should mean that gameplay is there for a group of at least 14 people, but I think this is a ship that would be really dependent on other gameplay for multi-crew ships, particularly bridge functions. I hope that we're able to see some of that before the Javelin is playable, although I'd welcome the opportunity to walk around it. The Javelin is also described as having modular rooms, which can be hot swapped for different functions, perhaps extra cargo, exploration, etc. I'm not clear how much of that will actually happen. It might be one of those things that sounds like a cool idea until actually stepping back and thinking about how to implement it. I already mentioned that I'll be putting together some structured content for the Javelin, which I'll publish here. Likewise, as soon as I'm able to, I'll post up a ship tour and a more full review. Once again, thank you to all of those of you who subscribe to my channel. It really motivates me to continue making videos. Please let me know your thoughts on the Javelin in the comments section, and smash that like button if you enjoyed watching. For anybody looking for a group who plays the current patch of Star Citizen regularly, I've included a link to my organisation, the United Space Confederation, in the video description. And to close out, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll hear from me in the next video.